Welcome everyone, I'm Kingly Valence, and thanks for watching this Spore speedrun. This is Spore, completed from cell stage to the center of the galaxy in 27 minutes and 12 seconds. This is an interesting speedrun of Spore, as this run uses planet sculpting tools from a previously saved space game to create a custom terrain on our home planet to help this speedrun progress much faster, along with using some other benefits from previous saves as well. We had previously seen individual tribal, civilization, and space stage speedruns this way. However, this run will string them all together for a complete run of Spore. Starting out in cell stage, and the tide pool plays just like normal. The planet sculpting tools don't appear to affect cell stage, but the changes will be more apparent once we arrive in creature stage. We're starting as an herbivore, but we'll put on the carnivore mouth as well. We want a fairly balanced diet, because we want to finish cell stage as an omnivore to earn the summon flock ability in creature stage. We'll defeat a booster cell to unlock the jet part, and we'll take down this punky cell to unlock the cilia. We'll add the cilia part to increase our cell speed, and also having two different mobility parts as we complete cell stage will make sure we have all of the basic hands and feet available when we reach creature stage. Finishing up cell stage, and we complete the progress bar in just under 4 minutes. That's a pretty good time for cell stage to start off a full game speedrun. In the early creature editor, we can put on legs, then hold control on the keyboard to separate the limbs to make arms and legs. And finally, we'll put on the jet part to give us a bit of sprint going into creature stage. And here is where the planet sculpting tools come in. Normally our starting nest is right by the coastline, but here there is land all around our nest. We skip the starting cutscene in the speedrun, but if we were to watch the cutscene, the creatures come out of the land and still head over to our starting nest. This is pretty funny, and thankfully changing the terrain and covering everything with land doesn't stop the creatures from making it to the nest. The custom terrain changes will benefit tribal and civilization stage the most. However, more land in creature stage allows a lot of nests to spawn around our starting area. And we can use the summon flock ability to help ally these rival nests. Another cool aspect of this speedrun is we can influence what creatures will appear in the summon flock. Here we see 3 creatures named Summon Flock 4 are helping us. These are custom creatures made specifically for this speedrun, as they fit the requirements to be chosen as a summon flock creature. Summon flock creatures appear to follow the NPC level 1 combat role from the archetypes page on Spore's website. The summon flock can choose any creature from the Sporepedia that has at most level 3 social and combat parts that also have wings. These summon flock creatures are numbered with 4 because I made 8 identical creatures to be chosen. A custom summon flock creature can only be used once per game, and we are planning on using the summon flock at least 4 times in this run. Making multiple of these creatures gives us a higher likelihood that our custom creatures will be chosen for the flock and that we won't run out of them. Using these custom creations and custom terrain are unique to this category of speedrun called New Game Plus, as we are starting a new game of Spore, plus additional setup from previous saves in Space Stage, and custom creatures made ahead of time. The traditional speedrun of Spore doesn't have access to any setup like this ahead of time, and can only have what a potential brand new player of Spore would have access to. This creates 2 very distinct categories. But speedruns like this here allow us to really push the limits of what's possible by using Spore's own mechanics of allowing past and future games to interact with each other. Making our way through creature stage, here we got lucky to find and socialize a rogue for 100 DNA points, and we can migrate to our second nest. We are starting out social at the start of creature stage to keep our timeline at the top of the range. Our timeline for tribal stage will be super short, and we want to make sure we enter into the religious range as we start civilization stage. But at this point in the creature stage, we will switch to aggressive, and thanks to our powerful summon flock creatures, we can take out these nests even without upgrading our combat parts very much. Fighting can be a bit faster as we reach these higher level nests, as they will start recruiting other creatures to socialize with. Finding a lucky second rogue to ally, as the epic in the background takes out one of our summon flock creatures. In nearing the end of creature stage, we have to navigate some interesting terrain to find our last nest. The goal of the custom terrain is to create this small island around our last nest to prevent more than one rival tribe from spawning, yet connect the rest of the terrain as much as possible to limit the number of rival cities that can spawn. Creating the custom terrain for this speedrun is fairly difficult because the sculpting tools aren't that precise, and we only get around 50 uses with the sculpting tools in Space Stage before the planet will reset itself. And thanks to HorridHenry for creating this custom planet terrain. Once we arrive on our small island, it appears we need to interact with another nest before advancing into tribal stage to lock in the terrain. We've seen it where runs that just arrive at the final nest and immediately advance into tribal stage. The island will gain a lot more land and allow for more tribes to spawn, but seemingly doing something on this island before we leave creature stage keeps the island small. Using the summon flock one more time, we appear to be out of our custom creatures, and we are back to using the default summon flock creatures again. Our custom creatures could have also been chosen to be regular nests as well, which is why we may not see all 8 of them appear as summon flock creatures. Finishing creature stage, we kept the island small, so only 1 rival tribe will spawn. For this tribal stage, all we need is 25 food for 1 instrument, and we don't need any babies. We won't use the tribal outfitter either. We'll use 2 tribe members to collect food, and place down our wooden horns. Give our tribe members their instruments, and head to where the 1 rival tribe will spawn. And after outlining this tribe, the entire progress bar fills and all of tribal stage is completed, gaining the achievement of beating tribal stage in less than an hour. Moving into civilization stage, we also have pre-made vehicles with the fastest and most powerful religious vehicles ready to go. In civilization stage, we can now see the whole planet layout on the minimap. The rest of the land is connected, with just the tiny island in the middle for the tribal stage. Another important part of this custom terrain is there must be a small land bridge from our starting city, so our vehicles can reach the rest of the planet. We have a short grace period before the other rival cities spawn, so we will capture as many spice geysers as possible while we wait. In the speedrun, where we just play civilization stage with the custom terrain, there were only 4 total city spawns including our home city, and our progress bar knows we won't get all 10 cities for this run as well, as the green progress already exceeds the normal length for holding 1 city. However, in this run, we will still get 8 total cities, so this may have the potential to be further optimized by setting up a terrain that limits more of the city spawns. But for now, this is still pretty good to have less than 10 total cities when coming from tribal stage. The first rival city spawns, and we can send all of our tanks to capture it. Now we can split up into 2 groups of tanks to capture the near and far city spawns. Even with coastal cities available, the rest of the world is connected, so we won't need to make any boats for this run. Now we just need to clean up the rest of the cities as they spawn. A good note about these custom terrains is the tanks can sometimes take an extra second to figure out their pathing, and the game can pause during this time. Typically I'll just spam the ground with tank directions, but here it's best to just send the tanks once to avoid these extra load times. We got the final surrender for our 8th total city, and now we can move on into space stage. Since we have the option of using custom creations in the speedrun, I like to use the I'm with Stupid spaceship for the Galactic Core cutscene. Starting space stage, we have to investigate the crashed spaceship, where we see the last major benefit of our previously saved space games. At the crashed spaceship, we can pick up 99 of purple, pink, and green spice. Then we can scan the ship and head towards the destroyed cities. During this mission, we can click back and forth to earn the Frequent Flyer 3 badge. This will unlock us the Interstellar Drive 2, and most importantly for this run, the Wormhole Key, which is why we need to make a lot of money quickly with the extra spice crates. These spice crates were gathered and placed down by another saved space game in the galaxy as well. And now we've seen all the extra setup by previous games that have gone into making this speedrun. Remember, the traditional speedrun doesn't have access to any of this setup, but for this New Game Plus speedrun, we've used a previous save to create a custom terrain and place spice that our current speedrun would encounter. We also made custom creations in creature stage so optimal creatures would appear in the summon flock, made custom vehicles in civilization stage to save time needing to construct them during the run, and made a custom spaceship in space stage just for fun. Returning from the destroyed cities, we can sell our acquired spice to our home planet. We gave ourselves the 3 most expensive spice colors, and hopefully at least one of them will sell for a good price. Pink sells for enough, and we can buy the Interstellar Drive 2 and the Wormhole Key. And there's the wormhole entrance we need right here, and this will bring us to the closest wormhole exit to the center of the galaxy. But I'll leave this galaxy available for download in the description if you'd like to play with this convenient wormhole connection and the custom terrain already set up for yourself. Now we are already super close to the center of the galaxy, just a quick fly through the Grok's territory. We could have technically cleared out the Groks in this area to make this part of the speedrun easier, but we have enough fuel and health to drive by and reach the Galactic Core. Quickly zoom in before they shoot us down, and we made it, finishing Spore in 27 minutes and 12 seconds. Here's the final timeline. Omnivore out of cell and mostly social through creature stage. Keeping our timeline in the green range for a super short tribal stage, ending as friendly to start religious into civilization stage. Only needing to capture 6 cities and accept a surrender to reach space, where we used a wormhole to reach the center of the galaxy. Let me know what you thought of this speedrun, and check out some of the individual stage versions of the New Game Plus runs here. Thank you so much for watching, I'm King of Valence, and I'll see you next time.